Yes, hi. Hi there. I don't
Oh,
know if you can hear me. Is my audio okay? Yeah.
yes. Good to
Okay.
see you again. It's been a
Perfect.
while.
Yes, good to be here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so those of you that don't know me, so I'm Will. I'm one of the winners of the Mayor's Entrepreneur from 2021 in the tech category, and founded a business called Manhole Metrics. And yeah, I've been asked here today Uh, just to give a little bit of an overview of what we're doing, what we've been up to, and sort of my own process through the Mayor's Entrepreneur competition. Um,
Well,
so, um,
it would be great to, um, yeah, if you could share a little bit more about your idea, where it come and where it came from, how you discovered it.
Absolutely. So, I don't know if you can see my screen. I've got only
Yes.
a handful of slides. So, yes, this is the Manhole Metrics team. We're seven now, and we're on a mission to essentially help stop flooding and transform what's seen as being left behind in the Victorian era of the wastewater networks with sort of sensors and analytics. And since competitions happened, we've picked up support from an incredible number of sources, which has been fantastic. So what are we dealing with? We're dealing with wastewater flooding, and it's not just sewage networks; it's also highways, rail, road, and whatnot. But looking at the scale of it, this is just in the UK alone. You're dealing with a network that could wrap around the globe 14 times over, and you're having tens of thousands of sewage floods. It's not really acceptable in this day and age. So we've developed these really low cost, long life, and easy to install sensors that just mount on the underside of manhole covers in conjunction with sort of a software monitoring system. And that's gone down really well. And within the next couple of months, we've got some paid field trials kicking off with Yorkshire Water, Anglian Water, and Thames Water have given us a commitment. Looks like we'll do something with National Highways. And we just found out today, actually, we've got a 50k grant from Cranfield University to do a whole research project. But yeah, lots of exciting things happening. But thinking about the journey, it really sort of kicked off with the Mayor's Entrepreneur, and since then, you can do a lot with 20k. You can go from an Arduino in a box through to having something kind of professional looking, and getting a patent filed, which we've done quite recently. And yes, in a nutshell, that's sort of manhole metrics. I think in terms of my application itself, I had always wanted to do something entrepreneurially and sort of go the distance with it. And I saw the competition and it really seemed like a good opportunity. I mean, like many other students, particularly engineering students, I left the assignment to the last minute. So I think I waited till the day before to apply. Deadline's always something good to work towards. But I sort of tried to make time to try and think about a good idea. You've got to create that space. And, I'd always been told that, the constraints lead to creativity. So I tried to pick a category that I liked. It was sort of the tech, and they gave some criteria for what they were sort of looking for, something in the smart city side of things. And then I was looking at some of the previous winners for inspiration. So Twipes, that was a big inspiration for me. Fat bugs, flooding, current problems in the news. And then I myself had a wastewater flood in my own basement of my uni accommodation. So that sort of got my mind thinking about whether or not there could be an opportunity for, some kind of really low cost device that could be rolled out. Um, and and then I decided to put in an application. I didn't like writing at all, but I found a lot of the questions were great. They were quite straightforward, and if you're struggling to answer the questions in the form, either you haven't quite thought your idea through enough, and it's getting you to think about who's going to pay for your product, how's it going to make money, how's it going to be sustainable, or if you're really struggling, got to think more about the idea. Maybe it isn't quite the best one, and that's okay. You know, to have a good idea, you've got to have a lot of good ideas. Many things I, were thrown out the window in the process of coming up with the manhole metrics. So yes, that was great. I used the application as a bit of a guide. I looked at the questions beforehand to think about these things. As I was ideating. And it's only going to get better after a first draft, but I really had nothing to lose. I just went for it, and the competition really served as a great means to sort of refine and develop the idea. And it's the impetus to reach out and make some connections in the industry. And I'm doing the Mayor's Entrepreneur Competition. I've got my entry. It's at this stage. I need a bit of support. So I lobbed something in, not expecting much. And yeah, here I am, I guess. I would say if I could do it all over again, I might have thought about doing it with a friend, sort of a co-founder. It's great to lean on each other, and I would say overall it's an amazing experience just to get up there, practice pitching, and you build an awesome network. I'm in close contact with a lot of the other people on the program still to this day. So yeah, I hope that was interesting and useful. Please, yeah, feel free to ask any questions.
I suppose I just want to reflect back some of the brilliant insights you've shared. I mean, first of all, massive congrats. It's like crazy to see the progress and development you've achieved in like less than 2 years. Really cool to see that there. And get this 15K in the last few days. I think one thing that you mentioned that is a really smart move is that people love helping students. If you say, I'm an entrepreneur, people are like, oh, I'm being sold to. No, thanks. But if you say, look, I'm a student at Imperial or Queen Mary or wherever, and say, I'm applying to this award and I'd love your insights. I'd love your help. I want to learn from you. People are like, yeah, for sure. I'll give you 20 minutes, or I'll reply to your emails by your questions by email. So I think that is really, really
Absolutely.
smart. Also said about like drafting your ideas, getting feedback from people, using this time now to kind of iteratively improve on what you're doing.
I had some truly terrible ideas, I must say. One of them was I'm a big fan of ice cream, and I thought an app where you could see where all the ice cream vans are, that would be quite good. But that didn't go very far in the end. But no, it's good to have lots of different ideas and to even have some kind of criteria and structure to work with in terms of the people reaching out to, the deadline for this stage is then. It would be great to chat with you before then and whatnot. All right.
It says, did it take you to complete your application?
Well, not long, because I definitely had another coursework deadline right alongside it. I almost didn't apply, so it was the day before, and a lot of the questions, as I was trying to sort of hint at, a lot of the questions are kind of, they should be straightforward questions, and you should have reasonably good answers for them in terms of who are going to be your customers, what's the problem, what's the solution, how's it going to make money. So only took, a couple of an hour or two, and they're quite short from my recollection. So not long at all. Key things about the idea and really sort of thinking it through and whatnot. But I mean, this is a bit of a filtering exercise, I think. So wouldn't stress too much. Not everything has to be word perfect. The key thing is that you've sort of got a sound idea at the base of it, if that makes sense.
That's great. And really assuring that you can get this stuff done in an afternoon.
Absolutely. I think it was only a day or so after I had the thought. So yes, no, it was really good. And I mean, Ed runs a number of other workshops to help you through the different stages and sort of guide you on your journey. And it's been really helpful. And then after the award, even there's some mentoring, and you sort of join a bit of a community, which is nice. And even if you don't win, a lot of the past finalists have gone on to do really amazing things. So it's a great program to be part of.
And that I think is also a really important thing, and we stress it a lot, that it, the money is nice to have in your bank. Of course, it is a nice accolade like Will has to win, but genuinely, and this is not being all like kumbaya, but like the participating is as important as the winning. You meet amazing people. You can share about it on your social media. Just the fact that you've applied, and you can tag, the Mayor's Fund in there. You can tag Citibank in there. You can tag my name, Howard's name. I'm sure Will wouldn't mind, if you tagged his name, because you build your reputation through doing this. And another little teaser for you to apply is we actually have a workshop that is specifically for those who apply to the competition. And this is probably my favorite workshop of the whole one, which is basically how to do your first product. So Will, I didn't realize your first product was Arduino. Very cool. My last business, we used to teach kids with Arduinos and stuff. But this next workshop is about MVPs, so building and testing around your first product. And you'll learn how to build an app, a fully functioning app, without writing a single line of code. You'll learn how to create a promo video without ever having had any design skills. You'll learn how to build your first ever website for £0 within an hour. You will learn how to develop your first brand in 3 minutes without spending any money at all. You'll learn how to develop your first color palette in 5 minutes without spending any money at all. And you'll also learn how to build communities to help support your product launch. So
I wish you guys had this kind of stuff when I was applying. That would have been awesome. That would save me a load of headache. Yeah, that sounds like that's reason enough to apply. But yeah, honestly, I think just maybe one of my my potting thought is just to give it a go and to lob something in, even if you don't expect much to come of it. You never know what might happen, and it's there's no harm in putting something in, so to really go for it. Yeah, unless there are any other questions. No. All right.
A couple minutes left.
Yeah.
Dan has just posted the recordings and slide from previous workshops, plus all sorts of different toolkits that Howard and I and the team have developed for you guys. Further up in the chat, we've got a toolkit all around application top tips. You can check that out. But my takeaway, my kind of key takeaway from this session is get on the application form, copy the questions onto a Word document, start drafting. Your first version will be scrappy and messy and imperfect. That's fine. Take that out to your friends and family, test it, get feedback, spend time over the next few days working on that, and you will stand a great chance of doing brilliantly in your application.
That's good advice just there. Yeah.
Howard, any last takeaways from you?
No, I'd just say there's been a few questions around how you balance this along with your workload and go from there. Is just start going. I think Will gave a good example. He kind of just waited to the last minute to do the application. You've got a few more days here. Just keep on chipping away at it, and it's don't be too daunted by it. The more you put it off, the more you think, oh my God, I'll never be able to do it. Then you will have that panic on that final day. You've got the form. You've been in the workshop. As they say, strike while the iron's hot. And just really go for it now, because overthinking will be the enemy here. And you've been given all the tools by Ed and myself at this session, and the recording will be available. So just go and do it now, rather than panic on the 11th and the 12th.
That's good advice. The application, it shouldn't take you too much time if you've thought through your idea well, and just sort of got the basic concept, then should be able to get words on the page, no problem. And it's just a starting point, right? And yeah, don't need to carve out a whole week to work on it. It's just, yeah, you can definitely sit down in the afternoon, even if it is the afternoon before, like me, and yeah, hammer something out. But yeah,